Hello, friends. My name is Dr. Joanne Fish, and I am the Associate Dean of Humanities here at Jefferson College. And with me today is my co-host, Jan Johnson.
And I'm the Associate Dean of Business, Social Sciences, and Public Service.
And with us today, we're so excited. We have Associate Professor of Spanish and Global Studies Coordinator, Melissa Stevens. And Melissa has brought along Leah Grobe, and she is a second-year student here at Jefferson College. Welcome, friends.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Today they're going to talk with us about an exciting journey that Melissa has been taking students on called Jeffco to Germany. Would you tell us a little bit about how long this adventure has been going on?
Yeah, the partnership with the college in Darmstadt, Germany began in 2018. It was actually brought to Jefferson College by a past employee. I think her name was Karen. And she had the program before at another community college, and so when she did leave Jefferson College, she let us remain partners with the school in Darmstadt. So we've gone there. Jefferson College has taken students there 4 times, and then they come to visit us in the fall, and they have come to Jefferson College 4 years as well. So it's a great opportunity for our students.
Awesome.
All right. So Jeffco to Germany, our Jeffco students go in the spring, and then the students from Germany come in the fall.
In the fall, exactly.
Yeah, okay. So tell me a little bit about this program. Like, what are the students learning? What is the purpose?
Okay, so we will have a 3 credit hour course. For instance, the first 2 years that we went, we did literature with Professor Crosado, a German literature experience. Last year, Professor Elke Overton did a German music experience, and the class was 3 credit hours. And this year we're going to take a political science class.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be German politics since World War II, and Professor Dejikli is going to be the lead faculty this year.
Wow, that's great.
And how many students do you usually take on the trip?
Anywhere between 5 and 10.
Okay, awesome. Tell us a little bit about some of the adventures that you've had when you've gone on the trip.
Each year we go to Darmstadt, and Darmstadt is where the students stay with host families. The professor and the global study coordinators, we help arrange which cities near Darmstadt that will go well with the course. We ventured to Austria last year. We got to go to Vienna with the music trip. 1 year they have gone to Berlin. And so we visit cities near Darmstadt, Heidelberg. We explore Frankfurt and Marburg. So students have the ability to travel throughout Germany. We don't go. Basically this year our long trip will be Berlin. That will be our overnight. Will be to Berlin to explore.
Wow, that sounds
Berlin.
like fun.
Yes.
So, Leah, you went on the trip before, right?
Yes.
And would you like to share? I always want to know about the things that you really enjoy, the fun things, not the academic things so much, but what did you really enjoy about going on this trip?
There were so many things. There was never a dull moment with the trip. Every moment was filled with like laughter or someone doing something silly or even just learning about something that you were like, oh, I had no idea that was what had happened or that this person had lived here or whatever. My favorite part was definitely my host family, because you stay with a host family. You're not just in a hotel the whole time. You get to stay with people who have grown up and lived in Germany their whole lives. You're completely immersed in the culture. So you just really get to learn not only about what you're studying there, but what it's like to live in the country itself. That was my favorite part. And for me at least, I met my host and immediately we clicked so well. She's a very good friend of mine now. When she came in the fall, she stayed with me and my family. My family loves her. They cried when she left. So that was my favorite part, just getting to stay with her and meet her family. make a lifelong friend from across the sea. But there were so many great parts. I enjoyed being in Austria when we went to Vienna. The whole travel experience was great. I've always loved airports, to be fair, but I love travel in general, so it was just great. Trains, not a big thing here, big thing there. So fun. I don't know why, but they're just fun to be on. And this wasn't my first time being in Europe. I had been in Italy before, but this was my first time being in Germany, and it was just great. I loved it. There were so many great things about it.
You had said before something about it was a good opportunity to travel without your parents.
Yeah. I had never, especially overseas, traveled without my parents. Like I said, I went to Italy in 2019, but that was my mom, dad, and sister that went with me. And I was honestly a little nervous because, especially my mom was nervous, I will say. She was like, "Are you going to be okay?" And I was like, "I think I'll be fine. I think I'll survive." But I was a little nervous. I was like, okay, everywhere I've been outside of my house has really been with my family and my parents. So I don't know how it's going to go. But my mom dropped me off at the airport, and I was like, okay, we've got this. And very quickly, I realized that everyone there was friendly and fun to be around, and that it was going to be a great trip. Melissa and Kenny were wonderful leaders, and even when challenges did come up, like, they handled it with such grace that it didn't even really feel like a challenge was happening. So you were kind of like, if I was by myself, would this be scary? Yes. But I know that I am in great hands, so I don't even have to worry about it. I think for that reason, it was a great introduction to solo travel, because you're not with family, but you're not also alone. So you're learning to be independent without having to do it by yourself. And I think that makes it a very, very important introductory step to growing up and traveling by yourself.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do at your age. I
Yeah.
think that's really important to be able to kind of take those baby steps and figure it out, and don't wait till you get old to do that. So we're in middle of November now, and your trip doesn't take place until May, right?
Yeah.
But there are things that would need to be done if somebody was interested in going. So can you tell us a little bit? I think you have an informational meeting coming up.
Oh, yes. We're going to have an informational meeting on November 22nd on Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. I will post that in announcements. We are currently having flyers throughout the campus, so if you see those flyers with our emails, please contact us. We are taking applications at the moment, so if you're interested, I send you a link to the application in a Google form. And so, just we have a few signed up already.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And you said from 5 to 12 students you can take, right? So you
Yeah, I
try to
think-
cap it at 12,
Yeah, we
I
try to
think?
cap it at 12 students.
Okay, and so if somebody's interested, they can go to the meeting, they can email you, and we'll get your email up on the screen during the podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about the cost?
Yes, this year the cost is going to be $2,500, $2,500 per student. We do plan to help students with scholarships and fundraising to offset their cost. The cost covers your round trip airfare. It covers stays in hotels when we travel in Berlin. It covers train tickets when we travel. Meals are, sometimes we do group meals, but mainly your meals are at your host family's homes. They provide your breakfast, and they pack your lunches and provide
wow.
your dinners.
Yeah.
The cost of the trip is for a 2-week experience. It is very affordable for our students.
That's amazing. So you went last year. Are you planning on going this year?
Yes.
All right, good.
I would probably go for the next 10 years if they would let me. So.
Well, that's great. Do you usually have students go more than once?
Yes, we had 3 boys go in 2023, and they joined us again in 2024.
Oh, nice.
So we had 3 repeat travelers last year.
That's great.
Yeah.
I would imagine having repeat travelers actually helps those who are going for the first time. Yeah.
It does a lot. They kind of they go back and they're like, I already know how to do everything.
Yeah.
Like and they help lead the other students.
And I'm sure that leadership experience will be really good for the students. Yeah. Now, you mentioned a class. Can you talk a little bit more about how the class is tied in with the trip? And I think you said that I think the cost includes the class tuition, right?
At the moment, yes.
Okay.
The class is German politics since World War II. Professor Lee has created a wonderful syllabus. He will be leading group chats or group activities as we go to these different cities. He will be giving lectures, and students will have one-on-one conversations about what they've read in the material, but also they will be at the places where those things have taken place. So they're very immersed in the course when they're there. So.
Right. Right. Anything else that we need to know?
Leah?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like piggybacking off what you said, it's definitely a great learning experience because reading about it in a book is very different from standing there and seeing it. You know, you can like learn, like I went on the trip about music, they can tell you like Beethoven lived in a house in this city and it looked like this. And reading about it is so different than being like, okay, you're standing in the exact same spot that he at like age 7 stood and like his mom cooked him breakfast.
Wow.
Right here.
Gives me goosebumps.
I know, right?
So it's very different and it's exciting and it kind of it gives you goosebumps even more so when you're there and it helps you understand it a little more. You're like, rather than being like, okay, I think I get what they're saying, you're like, okay, yeah, I get it, I see it. And then rather than trying to imagine what it was like, you're visualizing it because you're there.
Yeah.
You know, and I love all of that World War II stuff. So the second they were like saying that was what it was going to be about this year, I was like, yes. It's like, you sold me. I gotta go. I've gotta go again. But yeah, I think it's one of the best ways to learn is just to be there and see it in person.
All right. And I had the opportunity to meet some of the German students who came this last fall, and so they were the same students that were with the host families, right?
Yes.
And so that's pretty awesome. And then they stay with the host families, and that's many of the same students' families that go.
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Okay.
that is the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is for our students to host the student from Germany when they come in the fall. Yeah.
We really like to talk about connections and
Yeah.
what a great connection
Yeah.
that is to have students go there and then come and stay with students here, and they're the same ones.
You know, and it helps
Yeah.
our students get those kind of global perspectives
Right.
about how other people
Exactly.
live, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it gives you an understanding of the other people around you. I think living in a country that is very focused on itself, you kind of forget that other people have different perspectives on things, and going there and meeting the people and talking to them and learning about what it's like for them in their lives, you're like, oh, like not everyone sees it as this thing or
Yeah.
believes this way. You're like, that's really weird and that's really exciting to know that
Right.
there's such differences in people, but at the same time we're all the same. You know, we're so different but so the same. I think that's so exciting and a really important thing to learn. I think that's, in my opinion, the best part of traveling is
Exactly.
being able to like
Yeah.
learn the cultures and see how people live and see the differences and understand it in a way that's so much more real than just reading about it.
I'm listening to you talk, and I keep thinking of the word transformative. It feels like the trip, was transformative for you.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think, and for me, it just made me want to travel more. I'm like,
Exactly.
I got home and I was like, all right, so Germany, right next door is like France. gotta go there now. So I'm like, and then after that, maybe we go to Prague. Yeah,
There you
it
go.
makes you want to travel more. I think my mom always jokes that like once you travel, you get the travel bug. So you're
Yeah.
like, once you go once, you've got to go back. And I think it's nice. I think it's important to go and see things like that
Right.
too. understand other people a little better.
All right. So,
Yeah.
students, if you're interested in going to Germany in May, you should watch for those flyers and you should contact Melissa Stevens. But you'll see those flyers around campus, and she's having that informational meeting November 22nd. Okay. Do you have a place for that meeting scheduled yet? or-
It will be in AS1 in either 105 or 106.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so glad you got to come. You weren't
Yeah.
scheduled to work today. It's so nice to work with our students. And thank you for joining us. Jen, you want to add anything?
I think I would just like to end on, here at Jeffco, we're really committed to community. And when I think about this Jeffco to Germany program, it really broadens our definition of community. And so we like to say, if you know of anything going on in our community, so now we've broadened that, let us know. We'd like to make that connection because we are Jeffco Connects.
Thank you.